There was a great book I once read called The Magic of Thinking Big. It was about, exactly what the title says really. It provides insight into habits that you can apply into your personal and work life that lead to great success for you down the line and teach you how to eliminate negative thinking and reach your fullest potential. I highly suggest you give it a read, but I know that right now you might be thinking, hey, stop wasting my time and get to the part where you talk about Disney. What's this have to do with anything? Well, the reason I brought it up is because many of the principles it talks about in the book are very much related to what we're seeing with current Hollywood, and specifically Disney and Star Wars. See, there's one rule from the book in particular that in this context shines above all, and that's put your service first, and the money will come. I think you see where this is going. I mean, it's really common sense, and it doesn't take much brain power or an IQ above 50 to know this basic rule when it comes to making entertainment. Satisfy the customer by giving them something good and that they'll want to see, and they'll give you their money to go and see it. However, when it comes to the people at Disney, this rule seems to go into one ear and come out the other. Don't believe me? Well, I've made a few videos about these guys in the past, but if you need a quick reminder, here you go. You see, Disney aren't exactly the brightest when it comes to making their audience want to see the stuff that they're putting out, and while insulting your own fans, or shoving an agenda in people's face which you know will get them upset, then laughing at them when they get upset, might provide you with this temporary ego boost that you so desperately crave because no one gave you attention before this big break because you had no personality outside of your political beliefs or agenda, and now you're using these movies and shows as a platform to get back at those people who you're so adamant are against you, instead of actually taking the time to see the other side, as well as reflect on who you really are, and then putting in the work to become a better person who people actually want to be around, and who doesn't define who they are through their race, gender, sexuality, political stance, but instead by their character and how they treat people. It doesn't work in the long term. Anyway, Star Wars is the main focus of today, as the 2023 Star Wars Celebration recently took place and announced plenty of exciting news. I genuinely had hope that with all of the recent layoffs and changes going on within the studio, they really were going to make a major turnaround. But as we've seen time and time again, at every instance that there comes a hint of hope, they just stray further from redemption again and again and again. Because see, they may have just made one of the most bizarre decisions I have ever seen, giving the green light to a project that 1, no one asked for, 2, unfortunately, establishes the sequels as 100% canon, and 3, I guarantee was partly done just out of pity for the lead actress. Well, welcome to no, I don't even know what the movie's called, but Rey Skywalker's back. She's back, guys. She's back. She's back on the old big screen. I don't know about you, but for a very long time, I just tried to disregard the fact that these 3 movies just ever happened, and just focused on the stuff that was made during the George Lucas era. And while this decision to bring her back makes about as much sense as her being a self-proclaimed Skywalker, here we are, she's back again, now self-proclaimed as a Jedi Master? So this movie of hers apparently takes place 15 years after the rise of Skywalker, and will follow her as she attempts to rebuild the Jedi Order. Rebuild the Jedi Order? Great! With Rey? No, but instead by retconning the sequels and having Luke be the one to do so? In an ideal world, yes, but we don't live in an ideal world. In fact, in the world of Disney, we live in anything but an ideal world, since they have to change the writing and plot of their movies every 10 minutes whenever someone gets offended. Now, you might not be aware of the other news, considering that this first announcement pretty much made every headline, but just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, Lucasfilm are going ahead with 2 other movies as well. The first is being directed by James Mangold, the man behind what have actually been some pretty good movies, I'm not gonna lie, but who unfortunately will be wasting his creative energy on a studio that doesn't care about anyone but themselves. He's already made the new Indiana Jones movie, which I won't be seeing, and now he's working on a project based 25,000 years before the original trilogy, and we'll see how the very first Jedi discovered the Force. Basically, it's like a Star Wars universe origins movie. It's gonna have potential. Too bad I don't give a shit. Then Dave Filoni, we all know him, is making a movie that will bring together the Mandoverse. Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, all that jazz will come full circle. How exciting. Anyway, along with all this, there's also some series coming out, which we've known to be happening for a long ass time. But here they are anyway. Ahsoka, cool. Skeleton Crew, cool. The Acolyte, cool. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I had no clue this was even a thing. But you know, now that I know it exists, should we take a quick look at what most of the cast and crew have been saying about the show, and why we should all be incredibly excited?
I just try to treat everything as if we're on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
I mean, the best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what side you're standing on, truly.
I'm very, very concerned. This show is also apparently a blend of Kill Bill and Frozen, and you know, I love Kill Bill, but by God, if it was made by Disney, would it be a feminist show? But great, you know, we get both these movies in one. Can't wait. Anyway, the million-dollar question that some of you might be asking right now is, you know, why do you care? Why even speak about it if you're not going to watch them? Well, here's the thing. As a content creator who likes movies and TV, I feel that it's fair that I point out the bullshit that studios are coming up with and putting into the world, and why myself and other fans are getting fed up. And the simple answer to take away from today is that Disney have no clue how to make the majority of their audience, at least of what's left, happy, and instead they decided to go all in on identity politics, modern feminism, and basically just making things that they wanted to make and pushing messages that they wanted to push with very little regard for the audience that they should be appealing to. Guess what, Disney? Not all of your audience are some rainbow-haired Twitter addicts. Some of us are normal, regular people who just come to see movies because we want to be entertained and see something made with heart, with love for the fans, and something that would make the man who started it all glad that you're treating the property that he created with at least an ounce of care. Who do you think was there when the originals or prequels came to cinemas? Who do you think was watching these properties before you took over? These people don't conform to the modern bullshit because they've lived more life than these Twitter mobs, and they didn't have to grow up with all these stupid agendas shoved in their face. At the end of the day, you've ruined a lot of people's childhood and love for this huge franchise, and when it burns to the ground, which it most definitely will, the woke mob won't be there to save you, and you'll be left accountable for the biggest up in Hollywood history. And what's funny is, you'll probably still blame and insult your fans, because as we all know, it's our fault for not accepting the garbage that you put out, because we're just a bunch of racists, homophobes, sexists, and any ist in the dictionary that you can find. But guess what? Those ists are the ones who made your franchise as big as it is, who paid money to see what you put out. And what you've done with Star Wars can never be undone. And sure, you might make a decent project here and there, but exceptions don't sum up the majority. So basically, thanks for f***ing it all up. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. Won't force you though, of course. And I will see you in the next one very, very soon.